In this video, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the tracking screen to show you some of the functionalities that you may or may not be aware of, and different things you can do with the data that you've actually put in the system from the tracking screen. So if I click tracking in the top left, and make sure I go to the tracking view, it will take me to my class, and I'm just going to give you a quick tour of kind of the things that are on here. Things that you may not be aware of, things that you may have missed, or things that are completely new to you. So I've got my pupils on the left, I get their gender, their year group, etc. All of the wonderful things that are against the pupils that I teach. Okay, I get their previous EYFS results and their Key Stage 1 results, obviously depending on how far they've got in their educational career. And then if I scroll to the right, I will always get last year's teacher assessment followed by the current year's teacher assessment. Now, if you've been with us for quite some time, you may have more than 2 years worth of data. It's worth knowing that this little button here, which is kind of a clock that goes backwards to show back in time, if I click there, it will then give me any data that I've ever entered against these pupils in my school. Okay, so we can see we can go all the way back to as far as kind of 2013-14 here. Okay, if I no longer wish to see that, then I can just again press the backwards clock and it will take me back to the tracking system or the tracking screen as it currently stands. Okay, it's worth noting along the bottom here, I get an account of the vast majority of things that may be useful to me as a teacher or as someone who's kind of looking at this class. So I get their average attendance, the total number of pupils, the non-white British, if they're SEN, EAL, non-pupil premium, etc., etc. These are also known as kind of fast filters as well. So if I wanted to just look at my pupil premium children in the class, I'd click pupil premium and then it would just show me the pupil premium children in the class. I can multi-level filter as well. So if I wanted to look at the pupil premium who are girls, I can just filter those out. Okay, so you can go level upon level. If I scroll over to the right, it will give me all of their kind of data. It's worth knowing that at the top of the screen here, it will tell you what you've got filters on by, and also a clear filters button here, which allows you to clear the filters and go back to the tracking screen and the class as it was. Okay, if I scroll over to the right and look at some of the data that I've put in, then I can do a couple of things with these. So let's say I want to chart and have a nice grade distribution of the kind of numbers and percentage of pupils at the different grades in my class. So if I click in the column header, I'll then get this button that says chart. If I press grade distribution, it will then give me a nice colourful chart with numbers and percentages of pupils at different grades. Okay, and if I can click on any of these bars and it will tell me the children that lie behind these numbers here. Okay, so that's fairly straightforward. At the bottom, it will always give me an average, so it will give me an average grade here. Okay, so I can see what the average in April was to what the average in July is, and I can make sure that the class are moving in a nice upwards trend. I can keep an eye on these types of things. Now, you may have noticed these kind of progress columns in. Now, these can be added in by anybody. So you choose the column in which you want data and progress up to. So if I want progress up to April, that's kind of like my last point. So if I click in April, you may have seen it before, it says progress here. So if I click progress, then I can choose where I want my progress from. So I'm going to choose the start of the year. I'm going to choose September here. And then it will ask you to define the amount of progress that you're expecting. Okay, so in this case, because this school set up to a point in time, I'm always expecting 0 progress is my kind of expected measure. And then I can change the column name if I wish to, but I'll leave it at that for the purpose of this video. Click add progress column, it will go away and calculate progress. So we can see here, I've now got progress from September up to April. And it gives me nice numbers of who's made expected, who's gone above and who's gone below. And again, at the bottom, I'll get an average. So I was after 0, so my average is 0. So everyone's doing well in reading, okay, as expected. And again, I can do stuff with this. So if I click in the chart, in the column header here, I can chart this and find out numbers and percentage of pupils. So I know that in reading over the course of this year up until April, 80% of my class are doing exactly what they should be and are expected. 2 pupils have gone backwards and 2 pupils have gone forwards, hence the average of 0, because these 2 have cancelled one another out. And again, I can click in the chart and find out who those pupils are. So they're just a few things you can do with the tracking screen, nice and simple. Don't really have to go very far for that kind of information, and it's kind of at your fingertips.